Just roll it. Hey, I said before I can like things, and this show is one such thing. There's not much to say, I just wanted to talk about a random episode of this show, and since I didn't want to bore you for 18 hours of me gushing about Discord, I decided to just do an episode about my favorite main character. So let's talk about the My Little Pony episode, Read It and Weep. The episode begins with Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Twilight watching Rainbow Dash try to perform a stunt that ultimately leads to her breaking her wing, which leaves her bedridden in the hospital. The medic says she'll only be there for 2 days, and after making a joke I just love hearing in kids shows,
"You guys have got to get me out of here! I'm gonna climb the walls!"
Her friends try to show her the bright side of the situation. I just need to know that man's story. But Rainbow Dash is still miserable. But then Twilight suggests maybe she can spend the time reading some adventure books. To which Rainbow Dash replies,
"Reading's for eggheads like you, Twilight."
Rainbow Dash says that there's absolutely no way she'll read the book. So later she ends up reading the book, mainly because Twilight basically gaslights her into doing so. And we learn that the book Daring Do is paying homage to the George Lucas cinematic masterpiece Howard the Duck. But seriously, the book itself is more or less just a slightly altered, more detailed version of the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which it turns out Rainbow Dash really loves, as she finally admits that she loves reading, and then gives off the same reaction I did when I realized that I liked this show. Twilight and Fluttershy show up to try and give Rainbow Dash some company, but not wanting them to know that she's reading, she quickly tries to get them out of the room, which they only do because I 100% believe that Twilight knows for a fact that her plan is working. Rainbow Dash goes back to reading the book, and it's kinda honestly shocking that she really likes it, considering how there's probably lots of talks about the taxation of trade routes.
The taxation of trade routes.
Oh, and also this.
Misako-cha-cha Binks!
Pinkie Pie, Applejack, and Rarity show up, also wanting to give Rainbow Dash some company, but she also quickly manages to get rid of them too. Back in the story, Daring Do is almost killed via a sand trap. I don't even have to make the joke! Unfortunately though, the medic tells Rainbow Dash that it's time for her to leave the hospital, meaning she cannot finish the book before she's escorted out of the hospital. Though the real problem is, they tell her to stay off her wing for a few more days, yet they never explain how she's supposed to get home, considering her house is a cloud. Being unable to get the book now, and refusing to admit to Twilight that she was wrong, Rainbow Dash naturally resorts to stealing the book from the hospital. After a chase scene that results in her reenacting some parts of the book, and conveniently only waking up her friends, Rainbow Dash is now forced to come out, I mean clean. Boo! Luckily, there are no lawsuits. Rainbow Dash learns her lesson and apologizes to Twilight. Twilight states that Rainbow Dash can borrow any book at any time, and the episode takes its series annual pot shot at Spike.
Just look at me!
The universe will never give this poor boy a break. And Rainbow Dash finally gets to read the ending of the book, which unfortunately doesn't end the same way Raiders of the Lost Ark did. That would have been very funny though. And the episode ends with Rainbow Dash joining a fandom. May God have mercy on her soul. So, overall, this is a really good episode. The story is great, Rainbow Dash's arc is great, and the homage to the George Lucas cinematic masterpiece that is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is also great. It's just a great episode in a great show. And I highly recommend this episode and this series. And now I will end on this side note on how Rainbow Dash is Lin Jr. done perfectly. Loudhouse, there is no excuse for Lin Jr. to completely reset her character after cheer pressure. I expect better from you. That all being said, I'm your average bonehead Jay, and I wish you all good night.